Alright, so tonight we're going to make Neapolitan pizza. It's, well, it's not really Neapolitan in this case because we don't have the hot oven and everything. We just have we don't have a stone. We're just going to use some, I don't know where they went. We're going to use some just regular baking sheets for pizza pans. But nonetheless, the crust will stay the same. We've got 3 cups of flour. Cup is in here to start with. A tablespoon of yeast and a half teaspoon of salt. So we get our dry stuff in there first. Tablespoon of yeast, half teaspoon of salt. Mix that up real quick just to get the dry stuff together. Then we've got a cup of water. Put that in with the 1 cup of flour. Get it started. For what it's worth, we use bread flour for most all this stuff. You could use all-purpose, but it won't. It'll be a little bit more crumbly. So once you've got that all mixed in, down to just a little bit of a lumpy kind of goo, then we just start adding some more flour to it. Probably about another, almost a cup, 2/3 of a cup, somewhere in there. Kind of stir that in, and always scrape down the sides just so you don't end up with a lot of crap stuck to it you can't use. And once you have that in, it's going to be combined down to pretty runny dough. Probably get to a point where we're going to need to use our hands. I'm sorry, get to use our hands. So, and this crust, we don't use any oil in the dough itself. Scraping it off the spoon a little bit here. Don't want to lose any of our dough, you know. And then throw the rest of the flour in here and just start kneading it by hand. If you've got a little bit wider bowl, it makes it a little easier to do the kneading in here. And this will go on for about 5 minutes. And this is one of those deals, if you have a KitchenAid mixer or any heavy-duty dough mixer, it'll make your life a lot easier. But this works as well. And arguably it's sometimes better. The other thing is, if you don't get it all combined, that's okay. You can always let it sit for like 10 minutes, rest for a bit, and then it'll get fluffed up, and you can punch it down and kind of combine in some more flour that way. You're not going for a deep dish pizza, so if you do it a couple times, it'll just make it more chewy, and that's kind of what you're going for anyway. And it's pretty much the same process, just over and over and over again, just turning the dough and adding some more flour to it. And you can see here how most of the flour is getting combined in already. And again, with the mixer, you can see it a lot faster. It takes just a couple minutes for it to be all combined in. But by hand, this is 5 to 10 minutes of kneading it. But anytime it starts bothering you, all you got to remember is it's making your hand stronger. So it's good for you. Okay, we'll let that rest for a few minutes. We'll hit it again just to make sure we get it all combined in good. Okay, I'm gonna let that rest for a few minutes. And we'll hit it again just to make sure we get it all combined in good. Okay, so we've let it sit now for about 10 minutes. What we're gonna do is give it a little final kneading, punch it down, whatever word you want to use, and just try to, actually before I touch this, a little bit of olive oil in this bowl. This will be our rising bowl. It's about maybe a half a tablespoon. It doesn't need very much. You're just kind of looping the edges to make sure it doesn't stick too bad. So, the only reason I want to do that first is so I don't get flour all over the bottle. Keeps the cupboard cleaner, you know. So now, since this has had a few minutes to rise, it makes it a little bit more workable, so I can get the rest of the flour into it and make it a little bit smoother. So now I'm going to knead it again for another couple minutes. It's one of those deals, the heavier you are, the better, right? Pick myself up off the floor doing this.
Yeah, but you might have to
cracking the bowl.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
That'd be funny. A little more roughage. Just get some glass in there. So that's about good enough. A little leftover flour in the bowl's not going to hurt anything. So, but you can see the dough is pretty smooth on the outside here. It's not tearing. It's not whatever. And I can feel when I'm squeezing it that there's no lumpiness to it anymore. So basically that's our dough. And basically you'll get used to it as you make it more and more times. You get the feel down, you get the look of it down. So then I just roll the ball around in here just to lube the sides of the bowl. Give it one last push down and flip it over. And there it is. We'll cover it up. Now, I normally will do this at night and then let it sit overnight. Use it the next day. We're going to use it in about 5 hours, but for the time being, I'm going to put it in the fridge and I'll take it out about an hour and a half before we're going to use it and let it do its final rise then. So for now, it can just sit in the fridge, and there you go. Little leftover flour. We'll just dump that probably, and I guess I'll see you guys again when we're ready to start rolling it out and putting our toppings on. Okay, so we're going to assemble our pizzas now. I went ahead and cut everything up first, and our sauce is ready here. This is just the tomatoes. Anyway, go ahead and throw some of this on each of them. And then some pine nuts. Normally I put the spinach on next, but we ran across these vegan pepperonis at the what's in that place? Natural Grocer, and they're on sale for $1.99. So we got them. I feel like I should be saying something, but there's really nothing to say. Just hang out pepperonis. Spinach. It looks like a lot of spinach, but it's not. It cooks down to almost nothing once it's in the oven. So. Plus, this is our last night here, so it's gotta go away. So there, it's all gone. And then throw other toppings on top of this. And some green peppers on this one. And there's that. Now normally what I do is throw a little olive oil on top of the pizza. Try doing that. Of course I don't have the cool little olive oil pouring, using all sorts of, try to drizzle it on, and hopefully not get too much on here. Now, as far as Sean's concerned, there's no such thing as too much, but, oop, and there it is. So there, we have our pizzas. And I got a little excited, so I ripped the pizzas out of the oven before I had a camera in my hand. But here they are, and now we're going to eat them. Bye.